Task 1. How do your products use or challenge conventions, and how do they represent social groups and issues? With the camera work we used, we wanted to keep it quite typical for a music video to establish a storyline and a sense of star image. We looked at Cosmo Pike's Chronic Sunshine video and Reggie Snow's Egyptian Lover, and we saw that they use similar conventions to establish the setting and atmosphere of the video. We filmed close-ups of his hands, of our drummer, and the drumsticks to the beat to show a link between the visuals and the audio, and we included close-ups of our artists so the audience could establish the link between the song and who was singing it. However, we also wanted to include some movement to create a more interesting and immersive atmosphere, so we included panning shots around our main singer. The editing to our video is typically unconventional, and we did less of the three main aspects to create a discordant, edgy aesthetic. We felt this would keep the audience more involved and match better with our song. We also included glitchy effects to contrast the fast beat of the backtrack and the slower, darker singing voice. In post-production, we used the Adobe effect of echoes to slow down our light and make a light graffiti effect. This is not conventional, but we saw it in Mount Kimby's video, We Go Home Together, and we thought it was really interesting, so we included it in our own. When researching costumes for our main artist, we looked at Cosmo Pike and King Krule. Both set in urban settings, they both wear suits and kind of classy workwear. So we decided to buy a suit from a charity shop so we could get that vintage look, and we followed this convention as we felt it was one of the most defining and different ones we had come across in the genre. Looking at other music videos, we felt the most effective parts of the video was when light played a big part in what people perceived from the video. So we looked at Cosmo Pike's video and we noticed that one of the sets was just him in a dark blue black room, and we liked this, so we made our drummer in a very dark room with flashing white lights. And we thought this was interesting to create a visually stimulating section of the music video to accompany our drummer. I looked at Neil Diamond's own digipack to see what he included, and I could see he had a front panel, a middle panels, back panels, which included track list, artist name. Thought red would be good because it's dark and dangerous, however it's also dreamy, and all the emotions we wanted were conveyed in our music video. Before creating our digipack, we researched the typical elements of a digipack so we could create the best one. We found that there are several features so a buyer can know what they're listening to. Looking at Neil Diamond's digipack, I can see that there's normally track list, artist name, and album name. The album, there is typically a track list, barcode, copyright details for legal reasons, and distribution images. We followed all these typical conventions when we created our own digipack because we felt that if we wanted to sell it, it had to follow what was normal. When deciding what kind of style we wanted for our digipack, we researched other digipacks in the same genre. These included Cosmo Pike, King Krule, and Mount Kimby. They all seemed to have similar themes in their album artwork. Most included simple image of something like a landscape or an object, and then they used minimal amount of different colours and used these throughout their whole album artwork to create a fluent look. We especially liked the simplicity of this, so we picked our own London building images and made a collage. We used black and white images and then complemented it with a blue background symbolising the sky. We put the artist's name and the title of the album on the front of the album to attract consumers, as our artist is unknown and we need something identifiable on the front to make the audience to stop and look at the name on the album. To create our website, we made one from scratch. We did this because we wanted it to be easy and simple to use. We looked at the Ooze website by King Krule as we liked the simple structure, and when you first enter you know exactly what you're being sold. We also liked it because we hadn't really seen it anywhere else and we wanted to create a different website to accompany our different digipack and music video. On the front page we had a button to enter the main website. When this is clicked it goes to a 4-button bar which then has the 4 elements of our website on. We kept it minimal because we didn't want the consumer to be confused. I also liked the idea of the horizontal menu compared to a drop-down menu as we hadn't really seen it being done before and we liked the style more. We also thought it was more clear and as it's already visible on the screen, the consumers can navigate their way through the website easier. When styling our website, we also wanted to keep the website as easy as possible to navigate so that the consumer will be able to understand and see what they're clicking. We used the same colour palette of pink, grey, blue and black on our website as we did in our digipack. Looking again at the Ooze website by King Cruel, we like the simplicity yet effectiveness of having small amounts of colours, artwork, and text. Having less words on the screen draws the consumer to the actual art, which is the music video, and the star image of the artist. We also tried to incorporate our digipack onto our website and created the front cover as a zoomed-in version of our digipack. We used the stencil font for the text because we thought it matches the urban aesthetic from the video in the digipack. Although our website style might not be typically conventional for an artist, we really liked how it came across and the simplicity and how it directly relates to the other products created by our artist. The idea of a troubled young masculine artist is something that we felt our artist represented. When researching artists at the beginning of the project, we came across Cosmo Pike, Reggie Snow and King Cruel. All these artists are pretty young and have been making music since they were teenagers and live in London areas. It seems they all lead alternative lifestyles, and from the lyrics of their songs, they struggle, and the music portrays what they're feeling. Heavy topics such as depression, heartbreak, and drug use are covered in their music and show the struggles they're feeling. Our artist also highlights a significant part of the music industry with the use of drugs and alcohol, as you can see from the portrayal of the artist, as he's sat slouched in his chair for most of the song. His dishevelled look assimilates to that of Cosmo Pike and King Cruel, and many of the lyrics relate directly to the effect drugs have on someone. Finally, we also found that urban settings were very common for the kind of artists we had researched, so we decided to represent this in our video. In indie music culture, there's been an increase in the amount of young artists from areas of London creating music and making videos to accompany which imitate their everyday lives. For example, in Cosmo Pike's Chronic Sunshine, he's seen riding his bike down the road, walking down his main street, looking pretty familiar with his surroundings, which give the idea to the viewer that he is from this area. After watching these kind of music videos, we liked what we saw, and we liked the kind of everyday man feeling. So we tried to incorporate the same kind of theme in ours. We used a down-to-earth setting, which included painting and stripping wallpaper and picking antique-looking furniture to sit in the room. We also had home videos projected on the wall of people in London, which would feel like to the viewer the artist and his friends out in London. We did this to create another layer of the story to imply that our artist is from an urban grungy area and trying to live as a young artist. We felt that this representation was probably the most key of them all, as almost every artist we looked at from this genre had this same kind of urban setting, trying to live in London and make money as a young artist. So we felt that it was important to follow this one.